All right, let's get into it. Today, we're diving into the psychology of a really fascinating group of people, the ones who choose to grow in private, away from the constant glare of social media. It kind of goes against everything our culture seems to be about right now, so let's figure out why they do it. I mean, think about this question for a second. It flips the script on everything we're told about success in this digital age. We're always hearing, build your personal brand, share your journey, get out there. But what if the real power and the truest confidence is actually found in silence? So, at the heart of all this, you've got two totally different ways of approaching life. On one side, you have the social performer. They're all about that external validation, the likes, the comments, the public praise. But on the other side, you have the private grower. Their motivation comes from an internal scorecard, a sense of personal progress that honestly no one else even needs to see. Okay, so let's start at the very core of it, this whole quest for validation. The biggest difference between these two mindsets really just boils down to one simple question. Where do you get your sense of self-worth? And trust me, the answer to that defines pretty much everything else. What's so interesting here is the question each person is asking themselves. Under the surface, the performer is constantly looking outward, thinking what's going to impress everybody. They're tailoring their actions for an audience. The grower, though, they're looking inward. They're asking, does this actually align with my values? Their validation is a private conversation with themselves, measuring their life against their own principles, not against what gets the most clicks. And you know what? Psychologists actually have a term for this kind of superpower. It's called an internal locus of evaluation. Basically, it's the ability to have a strong, stable sense of your own worth that isn't just blown around by the ever-changing winds of public opinion. It's about knowing your value without needing anyone else to co-sign it. And this right here, this is the result of that inner security. Your happiness isn't riding on how well a post does. You can live a moment, have a success, feel a joy, and it's complete right then and there. You never feel that little itch to pull out your phone and hit share. So, how does this whole internal versus external validation thing actually play out in the real world? Let's take a look at how these two different mindsets handle success and celebrate those milestones, both the big ones and the small ones. This table really just nails the difference, doesn't it? The performer basically markets their milestones. Their growth is kind of staged, narrated for an audience. But for the grower, growth is sacred. It's private. A promotion isn't content. It's a personal win that you share with a few people you trust. Starting a project isn't about posting about the hustle. It's about actually, doing the work. Wow, this is such a powerful reframe. It's so easy to mistake the grower's silence for them being absent or maybe even insecure. But the truth is the complete opposite. Real mastery in anything requires your undivided attention. And that kind of deep focus, it's almost impossible when you're constantly performing for the grid. So no, they're not falling behind, they're getting way ahead. Now this choice, it's not just a matter of personal preference. It has real psychological consequences. There's a steep price to be paid for living your life like a constant performance, so let's dig into what those hidden costs really are. At the root of this whole problem is a very well-known trap called social comparison theory. It's just our natural human tendency to measure our own lives against the curated, filtered, perfect highlight reels of other people. And social media, it puts that tendency on steroids. So what's the result? Well, it's an endless, anxiety-fueled cycle. Your idea of a normal life gets completely distorted, your focus shifts from actually living your life to documenting your life, and you're always chasing that next hit of approval. The private grower, they just intentionally decide to opt out of that whole game. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one simple but really profound choice. Private growers just get it. Inner peace is a much bigger prize than public performance. They protect their mental space with the same energy other people use to protect their online brand. All right, so what's the upside? What do you actually gain by choosing this quieter path? Let's explore the powerful benefits of a life that's centered on private growth and inner peace. It really boils down to three huge benefits here. First, you get mental clarity. When you step away from all that constant noise, you can finally hear yourself think. Second, undivided attention. You get your focus back for what really matters, your actual goals in the real world. And finally, you get authentic mastery. Your growth is for you, not for a show, and that allows it to be so much deeper and more meaningful.
And this really gets to the core of what true confidence actually looks like. It's not loud, it's not boastful, it's a quiet, grounded self-assurance that doesn't need to shout its own name. It's just potent, and it's real, and people can feel it without you ever saying a single word.
So the crucial takeaway here is really a challenge to our whole modern definition of value. In a world that is obsessed with being visible, just remember that the most significant work and the most significant growth often happens quietly, completely off screen. You don't need to be seen to be significant.